So this is basically happening, let's say, people from poverty where they don't have a lot of choices, and they think that, okay, this is the only way out. But do you have any recommendations for women who can save themselves from this kind of scenario? Do you have
Hmm.
any advice for them?
That is a good question. I mean, as long as we have people who are willing to pay for sex, it is always going to be people who are then bringing others into prostitution to make money. You know,
Hmm.
so the responsibility really has to be obviously on the buyer. But for people in prostitution, there are several, in different countries, there are multiple exit programs which you could I guess reach out to and to
Hmm.
get help. But I mean that would depend on the country and also like the legal status as well. Like,
Correct.
is it how is it viewed and so on. Like in Sweden, we have a law called I would say it's mostly famous for being called the Nordic model or
Okay.
the Swedish model even. But it's basically a law that prohibits the buying of sex but not the selling of sex, which then
Hmm.
would place the burden upon the person who is buying. You know,
Correct.
yeah. So instead of like having people in prostitution be not only vulnerable but also criminal, that is a problem. So in Sweden, we have a different approach to this,
Hmm.
and then that also leads to exit programs being installed for, because we cannot only just say like, oh, prostitution, it's harmful, but then what are we gonna offer,
Exactly.
out of prostitution, but into what, you have to offer something. So exit programs is a possibility. um, but I mean, it's a matter of how you were, your family as well. Like, I really think, because I hear this a lot because I don't have any kids of my own.
Hmm.
And so sometimes parents will come up to me and say, oh, you're doing such a great job, and I'm doing nothing, I'm just home with my kids. And I'm like, no, but you are doing the job.
True.
You are taking care of your kids, and I really think that is prevention work,
True.
above anything. So to take care of your child really is a way of making sure that they are never ending up in prostitution.
Exactly.
It's really decreasing the risk. Yeah.
True. And these are two very important points that you mentioned, wherein, if we try to control the buyer, like, let's say, if that demands reduces, obviously, that request increases or decreases, the the supply also is gonna decrease, because we are not asking for it and they're not gonna deliver. And I like the way how you guys are approaching it the other way around, because this is something that I never flashed in my head as well. So, right, so when I this is something that I understand, I recommend all my listeners as well to kind of understand. If you really want to focus, if you really want to have a change, start from yourself first. Understand what are you supporting, and then make sure that you're not doing something wherein you wouldn't like our known ones or our loved ones to be there in that position. And
Mm.
parents educating their kids, I think that is so crucial and important, because let's imagine if we train our kids the right morals, that what is right, what is wrong, what are the things that you should not be going forward, and where they should, there's a thin line between understanding what are things that you support. Because you may say, I don't support prostitution and things like that, but if back in the day you're drunk and you go and just pay for some, you are actually end of the day supporting it. So let us become more aware of this fact that the reason the most of women, as per my knowledge and what I've done research, end up because of poverty, and end up because they've been sex trafficked, kidnapped, and these are crazy things out there. So let us just make sure that we are not just for a few minutes of pleasure. Let us not spoil somebody's life, because we all live once. Let us do something good that actually has an impact, wherein all of us are loved and cared for, rather than just treating somebody as a just like a sex doll or something. So let us become more human in those nature. Do you want to add something, Maria, to that?
I mean, I have nothing to add to that. That was perfect.
Okay, great.
Wow, that was amazing. I have to say though, I think you as a guy talking about this is so important.
Mhm.
Because I think that other guys will listen to you. So yeah,
Yeah, hopefully
that
that's
up.
that's that's my intent, because end of the day, it's on us guys. I totally agree that we are the ones that need to take charge, because when we come forward, I believe everyone is gonna have a safe environment. That's what I
Hmm.
believe.
Hmm.